Welcome to Daddy's Kitchen. Today we're going to be making some meatballs in marinara sauce with cheesy polenta. Hope you enjoy. So first thing, we're gonna have 2 onions. We're going to dice. Now I have this split 2 different piles. Reason for that is because we're gonna need it for 2 different applications. One is going to be for the meatballs themselves, and the other one is going to be for the sauce. All right, now for our next step, we are going to set this pan medium-high heat. We're going to put about, let's say, about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm gonna bring that to temp. Now we're going to add the onion that we were cutting earlier. Now, after 2 minutes of sauteing the onions, or just getting them a little soft, we're gonna go ahead and add 1/4 cup of chopped garlic. Now, one good tip for you will be just look at the onion. They're starting to look a little bit of they're getting a little bit of shine to them. Just wait for them to get a little bit on the translucent side. You can see a little bit through them, and then you can add the garlic to it. All right, so our onions are ready to go. So now I'm gonna add the 1/4 cup of garlic. And saute that a little bit. Now we just let it sit for a couple of minutes, and we just let it cook. All right, just get all those flavors to come out, and if you could only smell what I'm smelling right now, it smells delicious. But anyways, we're gonna let this cook for a couple minutes, and then we're gonna set it to the side so it can cool down, because we're gonna take this mix and we're going to add it to our meatball mix. All right, so for our next step, we're going to add about a tablespoon and a half of olive oil to our hot pan. And now we're going to do the same thing we did with the onions earlier, right? We're going to get the onions, we're going to put them in here, let them cook a little bit. Yeah, that sizzle, that's what you want every time. Alright, so now I'm going to add a little bit of thyme, spring of thyme, a little bit of rosemary, so you can add a little bit more aromatics to it. And in here I have a can of diced tomatoes with basil, garlic, and oregano. That's going to add a really nice texture to the sauce. So now we just wait for it to simmer a little bit, reduce a little bit, and what that's going to do is going to take that onion and that garlic, is going to make it a little bit softer. And then when we get to that point, then we'll go ahead and add our marinara sauce. All right, our 5 minutes have passed. So now, as you can see, it looks like it's been reducing. By that I mean like the liquid has been evaporating, and adds a whole lot more flavor. You can see the herbs are getting a little wilted, which is a good thing because now we're extracting the flavor out of them. Now, if you look at this, you see how the liquid takes way longer to get back all together to the center of the pan, right? Now that we're at that point, we're going to go ahead and add our marinara sauce. We're going to lower the heat. We want this to simmer. All right, otherwise you're gonna have tomato sauce literally all over your kitchen. You don't want this thing to boil. All right. Look at that. Looks nice and chunky. Now, one thing that you should never forget is going to be to season your sauce. Right. I'm going to add a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt. Now please keep in mind that tomato sauce and tomato itself is actually a very sweet product. So you just want to get that salt, not to salt your sauce, but to enhance the flavor. By that, I mean all those onions and the garlic and the herbs that we threw in there, along with those tomatoes with the extra virgin olive oil. Now all those flavors should accentuate in there, be a little bit strong, a little bit stronger. All right, now we're gonna start working on the prep for our meatballs. And here I have about half a sprig of rosemary, which we're going to take this out so you can chop it. I don't like to add a whole lot of it because I mean I do like rosemary, but it's not. If you put a little too much, you're done. You know, it could get unedible. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add a little bit to it. And in here we have some fresh thyme. This one we're gonna go ahead and pick. And some herbs. Now, when you get this fresh, it makes a world of difference on the flavor. Which is why I love cooking with fresh herbs. Trust me, once you start eating like that, you're not gonna want to go back to dry stuff. Now that we got them out of the spring, I'm gonna go ahead and some quick chop. Now I'm going to put those herbs here in the mix in the container. Alright, so now we beat in the 2 eggs that we have in the mixing bowl. We added the herbs, as you can see in here. Now we're going to go ahead and add 1 cup of the Parmesan cheese in there. Now in here I have 1 pound of ground beef, 1 pound of ground pork, and 1 pound of ground chicken. I'll go ahead and add all that good stuff in here. And then we're going to go ahead and mix all that. But before that, we're going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. And a little bit of salt over here. Thank you. Now it's time to get dirty. Go ahead and mix that. All right, now that we mixed all the meats together, we actually put a little bit of the cooked onions and garlic that we made earlier. And now we're going to add about half a cup of Italian style breadcrumbs to it. Now, I'll go ahead and in there again, mix all that, make sure that it's very well mixed, blend it in. So every single bite you get, you're gonna have some of that onion and the garlic and that nice and sweetness with all that, the herbs that we did earlier, all that good stuff. I'm going to let the meat rest for about 5 minutes. And then we're going to go ahead and start making some meatballs. Now here I have a baking pan. This one here is actually a crisper. That's a part that came with this pan, which is an amazing thing because you can make your fries in the oven, or in this case the meatballs, which should work really good. That way the meatballs are not going to be sitting in the fat, and instead they're actually going to be baked how they should be. So I'm going to start making the meatballs. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and have all the meatballs made, and then we're going to shape them. We ended up with 24 meatballs out of this batch, and these are about 2.5 ounces each. So that will equal about a handful size of them. Now if you do find the ice cream scooper, the one I use is number 20, which will give you the same size. Now that they're ready, we're going to go ahead and put them in the oven. Preheated the oven at 375 degrees. I'm going to put them in. We're going to let them cook for anything between 25 to 30 minutes. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and make our cheesy polenta. What we have here is 4.5 cups of boiling water with a little bit of chicken base. And I also put a little bit of Italian herbs in there. Now I'm going to take this cup and a half of polenta and add it in slowly, because we don't want any lumps to come up. And we always stir as you are pouring it in. That way, we'll make sure again that there's no lumps. Now, so you can see it's thickening up real fast. Now we're gonna lower the heat, medium-low. Add the remaining of the polenta little by little. Now again, it looks thick, but that's not a problem, because once we get all that incorporated in there, we are going to start adding our cheese to it. See, that's really good consistency. Now we're also going to add a little bit of butter. That's going to help get a little bit rich in there and help soften up a little. Get that extra shine that you want in your polenta as well. Now I'm gonna add our ricotta. Got about 7 ounces of ricotta. Stir that in real good. Looks nice. Now we're gonna add about 7 ounces of Parmesan cheese. Now you can always adjust your thickness by adding a little bit more of water to it, and then at the end just adjust your seasoning with salt and pepper. Alright, we end up adding 1 more ounce of ricotta cheese to it and about 4 ounces of cream cheese, since I could not find any mascarpone cheese in the store. Now it's a little bit thinner. Again, if it's too thick, you can always add a little bit more cheese or water to it. And then at the end, just adjust the seasoning with salt and pepper. Alright, so 25 minutes are up, so we're going to go ahead and check the meatballs now. Now look at those. Those look really, really nice. How about we take one out and we try it? Alright, so we're going to go ahead and try this meatballs now. Let's go ahead and take this guy right here. Let's see all that really good stuff coming out. That's actually all the cheese that we put in the meatball. Now, reason why they look a little pink in the middle is because you have chicken and you have pork in there, so the color is going to be different because they're not 100% beef. All right, but they are tender, they're juicy, they smell delicious. It tastes even better. Alright, now please make sure that you always check your temperature for your meat. You don't want to serve any raw meatballs. This one, I actually make sure that they were over 150 degrees Fahrenheit. That way we make sure that we kill anything that might be in there, since this has chicken and pork in there. We want to make sure that we're going to be safe. Again, 150 degrees, but they're so juicy, it's not even funny. And take the meatballs and transfer them to our sauce. One at a time, because we don't really want to overcrowd them in here. We want them to sit in there with a little bit of sauce, a little bit. And we're good. Alright, so we put a lid on the meatballs because we obviously wanted to stay nice and warm and then get all the flavors mingling with the sauce, as well as putting a lid on the polenta because we don't want the polenta to dry out. Alright, now That being said, please keep in mind the meatballs, because they're already cooked. You want to keep them in the sauce for maybe about 3 to 5 minutes tops. And then you're ready to serve. I'm going to go ahead and serve our polenta with our meatballs. Let me take some of this polenta. See how nice and creamy it looks. A little gooey. Yeah, a little bit in there. And now I'm going to take 2 of this really good meatballs. A little bit of the sauce on top. Some chunky tomatoes in there. Top it off with a little bit of Parmesan cheese. And dig in. So good. So good. Now, usually a portion you're looking anything between 2 to 3 meatballs per person. That's for me. So, I mean, everybody has a different appetite, but these are really good, so I'm going to go ahead and enjoy this a little bit longer. See you later. Thank you for watching Daddy's Kitchen. If you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you have any suggestions for the channel, please leave them in the comments below. Once again, thank you for watching.